this is an instructional video on installing the Salto escutcheon with the cylindrical option. When you get your kit, what you see here from through bolts, some miscellaneous small screws which will go through the locking plate and nut for the mortise cylinder option, the ring for the mortise cylinder, spindles, as well as the lock. The other two parts, total of 3 parts per kit, is the through bolt. It's an anti-rotation and a spring. The cylindrical cassette with a back set. We're assuming commercial installation, 2 3/4 inch back set. If it's 2 3/8, it is going to be a special. You will want to order 2 3/8 inch grade 1 back sets accordingly. Marks back sets are whom Salto uses for their manufacturing, so you can source them through Marks. I've also used Kaba, some of the other 2 3/8 grade 1s. All right, coming over to the cylindrical itself, prepping for installation. We're going to use a stand here. Obviously, the through bolts, there are 2 of them for accommodating the installation of this lock in a cylindrical prep. We'll start by the main head unit, the exterior part of it. When it comes to you, the lever set is going to be in the down 6 o'clock direction. You're going to remove or separate the exterior from the interior part. There is a cable here that if it gets removed, it's not the end of the world. And I do typically disconnect it to install the cylindrical. The cylindrical, it doesn't, or the mortise cylinder. The mortise cylinder doesn't matter what the cam is. This is a standard cam. You could even use an Adams Wright cam or Schlage. The main function that it has is it's mechanically drawing down on that pawl. And when it does that, whether there's batteries in the lock or not, it unlocks the exterior lever set. So we'll start by taking our exterior trim. Doesn't matter where the lever is right at this point to move it out of the way so that you can function. You're going to get your back locking plate, and this is an anti-rotation plate. So the idea here is the flat. There is a nodule there that it holds to so it cannot rotate. I would put the numbers up, just seems to flow better for me. Take the ring, the spacer ring, and I'm using an 1 1/8" mortise cylinder. You will push it through the anti-rotation plate. Make sure that it is seating flush, and you'll see how it prevents it from rotating. Take the nut and screw it down tight. I use just a pair of needle nose vice grips, and we're going to grab, and it doesn't have to be incredibly tight, we're just going to snug it up. The best part of this is snug is good, because you are then going to take this top tab or the bottom one, whichever one you want to use, and you're going to bend it down against the nut so that it cannot back off. So right there, it's locked in, set in place, and now when you turn the key, it will draw down on the pawl and unlock it. So this is done. We're now going to look at the handing. So if this is going to be the exterior on our door, obviously the lever is going towards the hinge. So we want it oriented in that direction as we slide these 2 together. All they've done for shipping purposes is locked it in a downward position. So now we're going to select our handing. We'll reattach our ribbon cable and just depress this flat to the connector, and it snaps in quite easily. So then orient your handle or the lever set and slide them together. Then you're going to take the anti-rotation pin, and there are 2 holes here. Sometimes they're covered by this gasketing that is on them, and what you'll do is you just grab it with a little tab and it will pull them out. This obviously is not coming out smoothly, but they do. You're going to set it on with them oriented in a 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock position, and then install the 2 screws that are provided. And it basically comes in this bag here. So you can see the spring, the anti-rotation, and the screws. We will secure this in place, snug it up, and our exterior is now complete and ready for assembly. Now we will fix our stand. First thing to install, orient your latch depending on which direction the door is swinging. I'm not going to put the screws in, it's not necessary at this point, but we'll put that in opposite the inside of the door, whatever side that is. Your cylindrical cassette will slide through, interacting, make sure that the ears are orienting correctly, and it will slide through, grabbing the back set ears and center it in the hole. At this point, you will notice in the kit that there is a spindle, and on the spindle is a spring-loaded pin, and the other end is just a standard spindle. So we will now take our spindle, the receptacle on the exterior side. It has to be oriented correctly. Reason being is this lock knows if the handle is actually opened or not, and it knows that by knowing where its standard orientation is. You will notice that there is a hole in the hub. That hole is what lines up with the pin here, and that's what holds it in place. So you'll set it in, depress the little button, and slide it in. Now it does not want to hold a 12 o'clock position because there is a switch sensor that it's feeling, so it knows its orientation. Make sure that that hole is in the 12 o'clock position or your lock will not operate properly. It will be disoriented. At this point, this is now, well, we are actually missing one step. I'll take you back, and I apologize. Before we insert the spindle, and I'll show you how to remove the spindle, through the hole provided, depress the button, remove the spindle. We need to now set the 2 holes 9/16 inch